according to Luffy, it's about the journey, right? And the journey is fun. The journey is actually an extremely enjoyable time because we get to learn so much about this awesome, fun world and sometimes nightmarish world
Hmm.
that Oda has crafted for us. Um, and we were talking about the log posts earlier and how you have to go to each one of these islands.
Yeah.
Uh, this, like, from a meta perspective, this concept, this was like Jump's dream come true. Jump magazine. This was like their dream come true as far as like a narrative mechanic for a weekly magazine, right? Because like the goal is you got to get to the One Piece, right? That's the ultimate goal, obviously. But you got to go through all of these individual islands, right? And like what's so great about that is like it keeps the story going for they didn't know, but like years, right? Years at a time because you got to go to each island. And the other part is if you're just jumping into it, something that's pretty cool is like, well, each island becomes like its own story, right? And where you get to meet very specific characters, there's a very specific problem, and there's a very specific conflict to each one of these islands. So yeah, hypothetically, you could just kind of jump in, even though you haven't seen like the first saga or second saga, right? Whatever. You should, right? But you could hypothetically jump into one of these islands and invest in just the story of that island, right? And you would get a beginning, middle, and end.
Hmm.
Obviously the story like would continue,
Sure.
and there's parts of each island that are adding to the greater story. But from a narrative mechanic, this is why Jump loved this idea, and why as far as its publication and the money it's made, why it's done so well.